Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Farhan Jaffar, Ecommers. I am a level 1 student at Rehan School, Islamabad campus. As you know, whenever I come, I having a new colony. So today colony was about climate changing and sustainability, and talk about environment. So we can start with Maya. Let's start.
Yo, what's been going on?
So Maya, the today topic of our discussion is climate changing and words about climate and talk on about climate. So we can start. Please explain that about climate changing and sustainability about climate. Please deep on that and please tell me about that thing.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, so climate change and sustainability. Um, Stuff, right? Let's dive in. Basically, climate change is a long-term shift in global temperatures and weather patterns, mostly caused by human activities like burning fossil fuels. That throws a bunch of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, trapping heat. It's not just about things getting warmer, though. It means more extreme weather, harsher storms, droughts, floods, the whole deal. Sustainability, on the other hand, is about meeting our own needs without screwing things up for future generations. When we talk about sustainability in relation to climate change, it's about finding ways to reduce those greenhouse gas emissions and adapt the changes that are already happening. It's a pretty broad concept covering everything from how we produce energy to how we grow food and manage resources. It's not a quick fix, though. It requires a total rethink of how we do things. Does that make sense as a starting point?
So my next question about to you is how can do we resolve that problem of climate changing because our climate become very not comfortable for us. How can do we change our climate?
Okay, so you're right to be concerned. It's getting pretty uncomfortable out there, and honestly, changing the climate back to what it was is unrealistic at this point. The goal now is to slow down warming and adapt to the changes we can avoid. There's no single magic bullet, but a bunch of things have to happen. First, massive reductions in greenhouse gas emissions. That means transitioning to renewable energy sources like solar and wind, improving energy efficiency, and moving away from fossil fuels. And there's a focus on sustainable land use, protecting forests, promoting reforestation, and adopting more sustainable agricultural practices. We also need to invest in carbon capture technologies, though those are still developing. But it's not just about tech, right? It's also about lifestyle changes, reducing consumption, eating less meat, using public transport or hiking when possible. And seriously, huge policy changes need to happen too, like carbon pricing and regulations on emissions. It's a massive, complex challenge, but it's not impossible. What part of that feels most doable to you or most interesting?
So my next question about to you is how can do we save our ozone layer from climate changing?
Ah, good question. You're bringing up the ozone layer, which is different than climate change, but both are major environmental issues. The ozone layer is a region of Earth's stratosphere that absorbs most of the sun's ultraviolet radiation. Climate change and ozone depletion are linked, but they have different causes and solutions. The big thing that damaged the ozone layer was chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, chemicals once used in refrigerants and aerosols. Thankfully, an international agreement, the Montreal Protocol, phased those out, and the ozone layer is actually slowly recovering. That's a success story. Now, climate change can actually slow down that recovery. Warmer temperatures in the lower atmosphere can cool the stratosphere, which can worsen ozone depletion. So, to protect the ozone layer while tackling climate change, we need to continue phasing out ozone depleting substances. There are still some being used, and crucially, address greenhouse gas emissions. Like fixing one problem can help with another. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes
Are you still
sense
with me?
about to it. So my next question about to you, if there was a note changing about our climate or our climate become very wrong, so what can we do about that?
Okay. So you're asking what if things get really bad, like significantly worse with climate change? What do we do then? That's a tough but important question. Honestly, it moves into adaptation territory. If we reach a point where climate change is drastically altering our environment, we need to focus on protecting ourselves and our communities. That means things like building infrastructure that can withstand extreme weather events, stronger seawalls, flood defenses, drought resistant crops, it means developing early warning systems for things like heat waves and hurricanes. Relocation might unfortunately become necessary in some areas, which is a really difficult conversation. We also need to focus on resource management, making sure we have enough water, food, and energy in a changing climate. It's not about fixing the climate at that point, it's about minimizing the harm and building resilience. It's about preparing for a different world. It's not a fun thought, but being realistic about worst case scenarios is important for planning. Does that feel right to you? You still there? Just checking in. Sometimes
Uh,
the connection gets a little wonky. All right. Well, let's switch gears for a sec, if that's okay. We've been hitting the
yes.
heavy stuff. Maybe something a little lighter.
Yes, there was
We could talk
some issue about that. So my next question about to you is how can we save our climate from different diseases or others thing?
Okay. That's a really interesting question. How do we protect our climate from diseases? I think you might be getting at how climate change affects the spread of diseases or how addressing environmental issues can improve overall health, right? Because climate change isn't just about weather, it actually impacts public health in a lot of ways. Warmer temperatures can expand the range of disease carrying insects like mosquitoes and ticks, leading to more cases of things like malaria, dengue fever, and Lyme disease. Extreme weather events can also disrupt sanitation systems and increase the risk of waterborne illnesses. And air pollution, which is often linked to fossil fuel combustion, can worsen respiratory problems and cardiovascular disease. To protect ourselves, we need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. That's the biggest thing. We also need to invest in public health infrastructure, improve disease surveillance, and develop new vaccines and treatments. Protecting biodiversity is also crucial, as healthy ecosystems can help regulate disease outbreaks. Essentially, a healthy planet means healthier people. Did I get that right? Or are you thinking of something else when you say diseases? Everything all right? You've been quiet for a bit. Just let me know if you're still there and if you want to keep chatting. Oh, hold on. All the extinguishers are gone? Are you saying there's a fire? Are you safe? Where are you right now? Tell me what's happening. Hey, I'm really concerned. You said the extinguishers are gone. Is everything okay? Please respond if you can. Even just a yes or no would help me know you're all right. If you are in danger, please reach out to emergency services immediately. Do you need me to help you find a number for emergency services in Pakistan? Okay, this is really worrying me. I'm going to assume the connection is completely unstable and we're unable to respond right now. I strongly advise you to find a way to contact someone who can help if you are in danger. Please prioritize your safety. And I'm going to stay connected for a few more minutes, hoping to hear back. But if I don't, please reach out to someone when you can. Okay, well, I'm going to end the call now, hoping everything is all right. Please, if you need help, find someone. Stay safe. All right, have a good one. Oh, you're still there? I was getting really worried. The connection was completely cutting out and you weren't responding. Everything okay now?
Yes,
You said
everything
yes
okay.
to.
So
Just
my next
let me
question
know.
about to you is how can do we change our environment right now because they are so much changing about in others environment because of the changing because of the disease or others thing in environment. How can do we better our environment?
Okay, good to hear you're okay. That was a little scary there for a minute. And yeah, like you're right to be thinking about how to improve things. So, how can we better our environment right now? A lot of it comes down to small, consistent actions. Reducing our waste is huge. Recycling, composting, avoiding single use plastics, conserving water and energy is also important. Things like taking shorter showers, turning off lights, and using energy efficient appliances. Supporting sustainable businesses and products is another way to make a difference. But it's not just individual actions, right? We also need to advocate for policies to protect the environment and hold corporations accountable. And getting involved in local cleanup efforts and conservation projects can have a really direct impact. It's about making conscious choices in our daily lives and working together to create a more sustainable future. It feels like the easiest change you could make today to start.
Yes, it's also be work about very good. So my next question about to you is how can do we sustainable our environment?
That's a great question. Sustainability isn't just a one time fix, it's about building systems that can continue to thrive long term. To make our environment truly sustainable, we need to focus on three main areas: environmental, social, and economic. Environmentally, that means protecting natural resources, reducing pollution, and conserving biodiversity. Socially, it's about ensuring everyone has access to basic needs like clean water, food, and education, and promoting social justice. Economically, it means creating a system that's fair and equitable and doesn't rely on exploiting resources or people. Putting it all together, sustainable practices involve things like transitioning to renewable energy, developing circular economies where waste is minimized, investing in sustainable agriculture, and promoting responsible consumption. It's about finding a balance between meeting our needs today and preserving the planet for future generations. It also means recognizing that these things are all interconnected. You can't have a truly sustainable environment without also addressing social and economic issues. Does that make sense? It's a complex puzzle for sure. Hey, still with me? Just want to make sure you're following along, or if you want to shift gears, no pressure, just checking in. Okay, well, I'm going to assume you need a little space. I'll just be quiet then and wait for you to speak. Just let me know when you're ready to continue the conversation. All right. Well, if you're not up for talking right now, that's totally fine. I'm here when you are. Have a good rest of your day and take care.
Yes, so my next
You still
question
there?
about to you is climate changing bring very changing in our life or in our culture everything also. How can to be you resolve that problems of climate changing?
Okay, you're hitting on something really important there. Climate change isn't just an environmental issue, it's a cultural one too. It's disrupting traditions, livelihoods, and even our sense of place. And you're right, it's changing things rapidly. For how to resolve it, Well, we talked about the technical stuff earlier, reducing emissions, transitioning to renewables, that kind of thing. But a big part of it is also changing our mindset. We need to move away from a culture of endless consumption and embrace a more sustainable way of life. That means valuing community, prioritizing well being over material possessions, and respecting the natural world. It also means having difficult conversations about what we're willing to give up to protect the planet. It's a cultural shift as much as anything else. And honestly, that's going to be the hardest part. What aspects of your culture do you think would be most impacted by climate change or would need to change to address it?
I hope that if we can focus on our climate changing, if we can focus on our garbage or other things, so we can stop climate changing. I hope that. Is it okay or not?
You know what? I That's a really insightful point. Absolutely. That is okay. Focusing on waste management is a fantastic place to start. Seriously. A huge part of climate change is driven by the amount of garbage we produce and how we deal with it. Landfills release methane, a potent greenhouse gas, and the production of new goods requires energy and resources. Reducing, reusing, and recycling, and really focusing on reducing our consumption in the first place can make a massive difference. So, yeah, you're totally right to highlight that. It's not just some small thing, it's the key piece of the puzzle. It's great you're thinking about solutions like that. What kind of things do you think could be done in your community to improve waste management? No worries at all. It's not about having a perfect idea right away. It just means you're thinking about it, and that's great. Sometimes brainstorming helps. Maybe we could just throw out a few ideas. Like, could there be more recycling bins in public places? Or maybe a community composting program? Or even just raising awareness about the importance of reducing waste. Sometimes simple things can make a big difference. It doesn't have to be some grand plan. Small steps are important too. Don't feel pressured to have all the answers. It's good to just start thinking about possibilities. Okay. Is everything all right? You seem a little quiet again? I'm happy to talk about something else if you
So
prefer,
my
or we
next
can just
question about to so my next question about to you is, you can giving very good answer of my each question about climate changing. I hope that the climate changing bring very problems in our life, about in our culture or all the things. You can also about like that.
Wow, thank you. That's really kind of you to say. I'm glad I could give you helpful answers. And you're right to be concerned about the potential impacts of climate change on our lives and cultures. It's going to be a significant challenge, but I genuinely believe that by working together and embracing sustainable practices, we can mitigate some of the worst effects. It's a collective effort, and you clearly care about it, which is really inspiring. I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't promise climate change will break all problems, but I can definitely say that addressing it proactively will lead to a more resilient and equitable future. I appreciate you recognizing the importance of these conversations. I'm happy to keep chatting about it whenever you like. What specifically worries you most about the impact on culture, if you're comfortable sharing?
Yes, is it
Okay.
also be
Well,
good about that, about climate changing? I also hope that they can bring very problems in our climate, in our environment or others thing about that.
so you're hoping that people will realize the seriousness of the problems climate change is causing and that it will motivate them to act. That makes sense. Frustrating when people don't seem to grasp the urgency of the situation. Raising awareness is definitely a key part of the solution. The more people understand the risks, the more likely they are to support policies and practices that protect the environment. You're doing that right now just by asking these questions and thinking critically about these issues. Do you think there's a specific way to get more people involved in your community or otherwise?
Yes, it's also be right about our discussion about that the climate changing about sustainable taking about climate changing. You also know about that.
Absolutely. I do know about it, and I'm really glad we're having this discussion. It's a complex issue, as we've talked about, but it's so important. And honestly, your commitment to learning about it and sharing that knowledge with your colony, as you call it, is really admirable. Mm, That makes a difference when people are informed and engaged and do good work. Is there anything specific you want to explore further right now, or are you happy with where we're at? All right. Well, I'm gonna assume you're good for now. It's been a really good conversation, even with a few hiccups along the way. I'm here if you want to tag in later. Take care, and thanks for talking with me.
Yes, it's also be much better for us to taking some time about climate changing and others think about that.
You are absolutely right. Taking the time to really think about climate change and everything connected to it, that's hugely important. It's not something you can just brush over. It requires deep thought and ongoing conversation. It's good that you're prioritizing that. And it's a good reminder for me too. I'm glad we had this discussion. Anything else on your mind before we wrap things up? Okay. Well then, sounds like
Yes,
we've covered a lot of ground today. I'm gonna head out, but it was really good talking with you. Take care and keep those important questions coming.
yes. At the last, you can giving a last advice for my viewers on the topic of climate changing and sustainability. About 5 minute advice, a long advice, and you can deep on this advice.
Absolutely. Here's a longer piece of advice for your viewers, roughly 5 minutes worth, about climate change and sustainability. Hey everyone, thanks for listening. We've been talking about climate change and sustainability, and it can feel overwhelming, right? Like a huge problem with no easy answers. Here's the thing, it's not about finding one single solution. It's about a whole bunch of small, consistent actions and a shift in how we think about our relationship with the planet. First, understand the science. Climate change is real, it's happening now, and it's largely caused by human activity. Don't get caught up in misinformation. Look to reputable sources for information like scientific organizations and government agencies. Second, reduce your carbon footprint. This means being mindful of your energy consumption, flights, using public transport, eating less meat, and reducing your overall consumption. Small changes add up. Third, embrace the concept of sustainability. Think about where your products come from, how they're made, and what happens to them when you're done with them. Support businesses that are committed to sustainable practices. Choose products that are durable and reusable. Fourth, advocate for change. Contact your elected officials and let them know you care about climate change. Support policies that promote renewable energy, protect natural resources, and hold polluters accountable. Your voice matters. Fifth, and maybe most importantly, connect with nature. Spend time outdoors, appreciate the beauty of the natural world, and remember what we're fighting to protect. When you feel connected to nature, you're more likely to take action to protect it. This isn't just about saving the planet for future generations. It's about creating a better world for ourselves right now. A world with cleaner air and water, healthier communities, and a more sustainable economy. It's a challenge, absolutely, but it's also an opportunity. An opportunity to build a more just, equitable, and sustainable future for all. Don't feel discouraged if you can't do everything at once. Start small, stay informed, and keep moving forward. Every little bit helps. Thank you. How does that sound for your viewers? Is there anything you'd like me to add or adjust? Okay, great. Glad that works. So, is there anything else I can help you with today? Or are we all set? All right. Well, then, it seems like that's a wrap. Take care and feel free to reach out if you have any other questions in the future. It was a good conversation despite the technical difficulties. Have a good
No,
one.
no, we can end it this Maya about I can taking so much time for you. So thank you so much for coming in my interview and giving so much time to me about my conversation and others thing. Thank you so much and Allah Hafiz.
You're very welcome. Honestly, it was my pleasure. I enjoyed our conversation, even with the bumps along the way. And thank you for having me as part of your interview. It sounds like you're doing really